Dun, 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 doo, 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 doo. Welcome to the bull market strike back. Demonetized. No, don't worry. My singing's not that great to get demonetized.
That's true. But yeah, man. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Triumvirate Show, starring the great Mattsby, Cantonese Cat, and myself, Tracker. And yeah, it's an exciting one to do because we had a really good day today, didn't we? It's kind of been a good week.
Yeah. Happy 40th, guys. We made it the 40th episode
40,
all together.
40 episodes is crazy.
Only
Yeah.
12 more, and that's a full 52-week year. So
The triumphant year. We should come with calendars. You know,
yeah,
like
we should. What month are you going to be, Kat? Come on, tell us.
I don't know. I definitely want to be January and March. You know, you can take the rest.
Oh, that sounds good.
Fair enough. I'll be summertime sometime. Yeah.
I can be winter. I like winter. Those winter colors.
So,
right.
should we just start talking about the indices or what's going on?
Let's talk about the indices, man.
You know.
I don't know. Like, I'm very cautious here at these levels. You know, I want you to tell everybody how cautious they should be.
Well, yeah, it is technically a resistance level right now, and we don't know. This is the SPY, by the way. We do not know if it's going to break above this 1.618 this week or not. It could just turn into a wick and close below and then go back down and retest the cloud again around 570, right? That's always a possibility for SPY, but we can wait day over day, see if it can stabilize on top of this 585. If so, then we could get some momentum back towards all-time highs. And I think that will be a defining moment too. Like if we can start to flip this 585 back to support, then I think it will go into all-time highs. But if it keeps getting rejected in this zone, then perhaps it's going to take more time. With the QQQ, kind of same situation here, but it's a little bit more bullish, right? We can see that it is clearly breaking above everything. We had a gap up. No back test yet, so we got to be prepared for that just in case it does want to back test that 497 or a little bit lower. But we are doing well, right? Price is going higher. We can see that the previous all-time highs sit around like the 539, 540 zone. And this is just in the middle of a range right now. So we got to be a little bit aware that it's not guaranteed to just melt up to the 1.618 right now. We could just be range bound. We could go back and retest support. So I'm always more cautious in the middle of a range because we don't know if it's going to go lower first before trying to go higher. And with the IWM, this actually is really battling this 208 zone right now, 208.74, and that baseline right there at 208.36. So we'll see if it can close above both. And if so, this is looking like a pretty good development for the IWM. And yeah, so with that, guys, I think we're just in a range right now. We're trying to break resistance definitively. We don't have that answer yet because we do not have a Friday weekly candle close. So I think just a little bit more patience to get that answer. But right now, I'm a little bit cautious because technically it's a resistance zone.
It's always wild to me when I see what. Oh, let me just say when I see these charts break and leave a gap behind it, it's like they're always in a hurry to get somewhere, and I'm always wondering where are they trying to get to, and is it just going to go up and then back down? But I was thinking about Cat's your floating islands. You think that we might just leave an island bottom here?
No, I mean, it's possible. I mean, it looks like I want to get to the bottom of the cloud here in a hurry, but you know, I mean, on the other hand, it was also at the 0.618. I suppose it's possible. I never like these kind of crazy gap ups without some kind of retracement. But on the other hand, this is going to create some pretty maximal pain for the bears that think that we're going to end up being retraced, and we might not actually end up going back down and fill the gap. I think that weekly gaps probably end up getting filled at some point, but yeah, I don't like seeing a weekly gap kind of floating up there for like that. I think it probably end up getting filled at some point. But even if it gets filled, it's not that much further down, Not
yeah. We haven't really seen a weekly gap on IWM not get filled in a very long time. So it is kind of interesting just going back in time here. So far, almost all the gaps got filled. Yeah.
Yeah. Those island gaps are usually like more, you would see a gap down on the left side and then with the match with the gap up on the right side. So like that one right there. That was that the pandemic? Yeah, where like gaps
Yeah, there
down.
was a gap up here. There was a
Up.
gap up here, but then a few weeks later, it went back down to fill that gap. So could we be in the same kind of situation? Possibly, right? So that's why, yeah, we are in a bullish breakout structure, but we don't know if things need to back test levels, especially when you look at the SPY. Like, does it really need to? Is it really going to get rejected here at the 1.618 and then come back down to these levels down here in the 560s, 570s? We don't know that yet. So I think we just got to take it 1 week at a time. Don't get overzealous here at resistance, guys. Just be a little bit cautious, and maybe raising cash could be smart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Always, if
I
you
don't
don't.
like I don't like the fact that I was looking at my portfolio and was like, oh, all-time high. Huh.
Yeah, this makes me angry. I'm going to sell everything.
Celebrate or celebrate. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't like the gap, but it could keep going up and fill the gap later. Or maybe it fills the gap like 5 years later. Who knows? We never know.
It could just keep running to just keep burning the shorts, and then when the shorts are all burnt out, and then there's too much leverage on the upside, then they bring it back down. It's interesting too, the charts. We'll look at some charts in a little bit here, but there are a lot of ones that gapped up over the weekend, and some of them filled their gaps, and some of them have not filled their gaps. So you get a lot of with these big market moves, a big plunge to the downside, and then a quick recovery. You get a lot of what's the word? Well, differences between charts. A lot of what I keep wanting to say is
Yeah.
diversity, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Anyway.
It just looks like, to me, the higher time frame is very bullish, and the lower time frame just looks maybe like a little bit too overextended. So I see some dichotomy here. Like if you are looking more for like a short term kind of thing, then I suppose you should be a little bit more cautious, with the gap and we being close to resistance. But in the long term, you want to flip over to me. I can show you here, a couple things here real quick with the QQQ here. It really fits like pretty. Yeah, it really fits a pretty beautiful like morning star pattern, where you have a big red candle followed by kind of like a doji candle, if you will. In this particular case, is a very, very nice hammer that went all the way down to the monthly, and this is a monthly chart, by the way, so it's very powerful. Went all the way down to like the monthly baseline, or Kijun, and it bounced all the way back up above the conversion. Like, this is a very powerful back test, a very powerful test of support. And if you don't die, generally things go up a lot higher, So on a higher time frame, you see a morning star pattern here. These things are generally pretty bullish. On the QQQ, you also see the same thing here on SPY, right? SPY actually never really even close up below the conversion, the IWM is doing the same thing. It has that morning star look to it. The only issue is right now is at a pretty important resistance at the monthly conversion tank, and we haven't really convincingly gotten really above of it. And the month is still long, so I still think that it can have some like short-term shenanigans. It could get rejected here at the cloud, come back down, close the gap, and then do whatever it wants to do, and then build up more energy. And even if it does that, it would just be a little bit more like an inverted head and shoulder kind of thing, So it's not the end of the world if it does that. But short term, yeah, I mean, do I lean a little bit more bearish? Yeah, I do. But on the higher time frame, like I can't really be that bearish here on these charts based on what I'm looking at. So even if you look at like the Bollinger Band, which I generally look at, like in April, it almost touched the low Bollinger Band. Whenever it touched the low Bollinger Band, like generally it's a pretty good bottom, even during like the 2022 downtrend. Once it gets to low Bollinger Band, like that was pretty much it, COVID was a little bit anomaly, went a little bit, further than that, but that's when you have V-shape. 2018, same thing, touched the low Bollinger Band, that's it. 2015, 2016, touched the low Bollinger Band, decided to go down a little bit further, but it was also squeezing pretty tight here too. So I think this is a pretty good bottom. I think it's trying to reclaim the 20 month moving average here on IWM. QQQs are already like bounced off of the 20. Like it looks like very, very beautiful bounce here. SPY, same thing. So I just see a higher time frame bullish continuation here, but on a lower time frame, I think it is reasonable to get more cautious because we have kind of expended a lot of bullish energy up here already, and leaving a lot of kind of gaps behind. So I think it's reasonable to be a little bit more cautious. Whenever you have like these kind of like head and shoulder, like inverted head and shoulder breakout, leaving a gap here is kind of like screaming for potential backtest and before going higher. So anyway, those are just my thoughts. That's why I want people to like not be super, and this might never happen. The gap might never close. It might just keep on going a lot higher. But I just want people to be like, not go like super leverage, expecting just gonna win shot from here without any kind of retracement. We might not get any, but it just be logical if it does. That's all.
Oh yeah, stay away from leverage.
Yeah.
It'll just you'll get burned.
Yeah, I mean, you can do leverage, but like don't get into leverage positions that you can lose your positions.
Right.
Because once you lose it, then that's it, right? So, but anyway, you guys want to take it away and talk about something else? What about the big stocks like Tesla coin, Palantir, Nvidia, all that stuff?
Yeah, let's talk about the big dog today, Coinbase. How about that? We'll start with that. The big diggity dog.
You want to take over?
Yeah, I'll start with that. I have my chart pulled up here. So pulling up my weekly chart for coin, we can take a look and see the gap up that just occurred, right? Well, technically it's a daily gap up, but the weekly chart, there is no gap. But there's a great development that's happening. You can see the blue GAN level finally got broken. It was resistance for the past 3 weeks in a row after it was a support back in February. Broke that support, reclaimed it with a vengeance here, and it really just is cutting through all this resistance, and it's even getting to the top of the Ichimoku cloud on the baseline there. Something that we saw right here, and I did bring that up earlier. I sent a post that I told my Patreon people on Friday that because of the terrible earnings in October, that the following week just shot up with a bullish engulfing candle, that we could see something similar, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. Something pretty similar, but this one went up 48%, and now we are up 28%. So could it go up a lot more? Possibly. Right, we'll see. But the main thing that I'm focused on really for Coinbase is this cloud and the baseline. I kind of want to just see price close this weekly candle above everything. That would be the most bullish scenario, and I think, because then it could start to establish a nice little base on top of the cloud here, and then just continue its V bottom recovery out of there and go back towards the highs. But are we really ready to go towards the I don't know, the levels above in the 400s, breaking to all-time highs? I don't think so just yet. We can put on the fibs here just to take a look at this price action from the high to the low. And we can see that it is also breaking above this all-important 786. So that's 245.66, which is right around the same zone. So we have all this previous resistance with the potential of closing this weekly candle above. So you know what that means, right? If it closes above everything, especially the 786, it's almost guaranteed to go higher to the 886 and back to all-time highs. So that's what I'm waiting for. We don't really have that confirmation yet because the week just kind of started. So I'm looking for the weekly candle close above it. But right now, 257 post-market, and all we got to do is stay above basically 246, 247, and then we're good to go.
That is lovely. Let's see. What do I want to show? Let me show my Coinbase chart, and I'll just show you the long, the elite waves that I've drawn here. Let's see. So I basically just went to 3155 was its lowest point ever, to the highest point it reached after that. At first, I was tracking this one to this one, but since it made a higher high, and then a lower low than here, this has become my wave 1. So now we're in wave 3, and the way I draw these, this is wave 3, sub 1, sub 2. Then there's wave 3 and 4 are inside of this, and then wave 5. That's all of wave 3 is wave 5 there. And I basically just said, let's go with a conservative 382, 236, 1236. And look, that's exactly what it's done. Coinbase from the bottom here, the higher low at 138.56. It went today. Let's see. Matt and I've been looking at a lot of these charts every morning. 11.4 boss, little mini boss. Once it gets over 11.4 and establishes it it was resistance this candle, then support, and that shoots up to the 236. And then it back tests a little bit. It's resistance, and then you get this penetrating candle this week, shoots right from the 236 right to the 382. You can see it, even the wick just put a toe over my 382 at 260.11. And last time we talked about it in the show, was it a 1 hour chart I was just looking at? Last time I looked at this in the show, darn it, I can't find it. Here it is. Here it is. This arrow, this is where price was when we talked about it last time. It was down here below this 236 at 213.66. And so you can see I've been looking at this 382 the whole time. And yeah, so what happens next? Either it tests back down to the 236 and then goes to the 123.6 up here, 3186, or it can continue a little higher, or a lot higher, really. This is something I've been trying to do, is not close my positions too early. When price gets like today, it closes just below the 3.2. Times past, I would sell it, and then next day I'd watch it go over it, and then come back and test to it, and then hang up around there and like, oh, why didn't I just hold on to it? I'm not going to buy it now, but so I'm going to hold on. I held on my position overnight, and let's see where we go. Let's see if it doesn't just go over the top of it a little bit and then hang around, then oscillate around it for a little bit. And then if it doesn't fall, it's going to rise probably to the 618 up here. But if that is the top, if it kind of goes over, loses steam through its conversion line and its baseline on whichever time frame you're looking at, then yeah, the 23.6 fib down here at 213.66 is usually where you would see support after that. So that's how I thought it was going to take a lot longer. So these are pretty far apart. After 213.07, or no, sorry, 213.66 right here, it would go on up to the 123.6. And just for a note, if it went to the 23.6 and you were able to buy it right there, that is 149, almost 150% higher to the 123.6 fib at 531.86. So there's my Coinbase chart. And Conel looks even cooler, but we'll talk about that later, or not at all. What do you think,
Do
Kat?
you want to jump into? Do you have any thoughts on Cornell or?
Oh yeah, okay, sure, okay. Here's my Conel chart.
Yeah.
And this is
While
what
you're at it, I mean,
this is what I'm trading. I'm actually not in Coinbase. I'm in Conel. Let's see. I think that is my cost basis, and so it was really nice today to see it run up to the. This is why I'm looking at my coin chart and my Conel chart differently, because when I do top of the Conel chart, let's see. I have to go back to the weekly chart. When I do it from its all-time low to its all-time high, back to its higher low, my fibs are a little different, and it really looks like it wants to keep running. Like my Conel it's not even reached the 23.6 fib yet. Maybe if coin won't keep going, or maybe it suffers a little. Maybe it does have to test back here a little bit, and then breaks over the 236 as coin is getting back over its 382. But it's just interesting because it really looks like, from my chart, it should maybe fight a little bit with this 29.26, but then just keep going up to this 382 at 41.96. So I'm hoping for another 50% more on an L position. So we'll just see how that plays out. And that's in the short term before it just tests back and then runs up even more. So this from if it does test back to the 236 and runs up to the one, I'm sorry, it would be the 1236. Well, you're in the wrong place. Be 295% higher if it did that. So, woohoo! Right, there you go. That's my Connell. I know, right? It just looks so good. Really, today was just like I was kind of bearish to start off the morning. I'd spent all night and in the early morning like gnashing my teeth about where Tesla
But I
was and
persuaded you on the
TSLA
morning
and
show.
Bitcoin were in comparison. You did. You said you made me feel a lot better about it. And I bought a bunch of stuff at the open and I just watched it go up all day. And from my couch, I stopped trading about 10:30, 11, and then just watched from my couch as the numbers got bigger and bigger.
Nice.
You.
All right, Kat, time for the big
Oh,
reveal.
so one thing I've been telling people. Okay, big reveal, big reveal.
No, I have no big review. Please,
Oh, okay.
Tracker, what are you going to say?
I was going to say, so this is something I've been talking about in the morning show with Matt a lot. This recovery here, any chart that is under the 23.6 extension fib, it's a great place to buy because it's going to go to the 382 at minimum. At minimum, sometimes charts will go to the 618 and then still go back to the 236. The really bullish charts like Tesla in 2020 would go to the 764 and back to the 382. So that's the pattern that I'm always hoping to see. But like I said, well, after this, being the April 7th, everything, the whole first quarter of 2025 just kicked us all the way down. So I'm very conservative, 382, 236 to watch for. Anything that's below is 236. Anything that's above the 11.4 has already defeated the 11.4 fib boss, and below 23.6 is definitely a buy. I would say. Let's see. I'll just show my Tesla chart here real quick. It's a little slow. All right, so this is the long-term Tesla chart where I take it from the $9.40 low on the logarithmic scale. This looks a lot more significant. It's a pretty significant low, 940 there, to the previous all-time high of oh my gosh, I haven't said it in so long. 414.40, I think it is, and then down to the 101.35 higher low. And so that's my 1-2 that I'm looking at. And so everyone's like wondering, like they look at me like I've got two heads when I talk about turn by summer or 700 by the end of the year and then 1100. And well, this is why, because this is just the 1-2. And originally this was my wave 1 and this was my wave 2, subwave 1, subwave 2. But after this, even though I was really bullish here and it looked like we were a lot closer to reaching 700 by the summer, and then price got pushed down all the way down to 214, and I didn't feel like we could necessarily hit 700 by the summer anymore. Still, with this much oscillation, minor wave 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and if this is allegedly all of, I don't know. See, now maybe do I have to move these to here? It just really looks like the wave 3 is going to be a lot higher. It went to 100, then way back to the 382. Maybe it goes to 200.
Yeah. I think a lot of people fail to understand
crazy.
that.
Anyway, at minimum, I'm looking. So 657.88 has been my 1382 for a long time, and then it would test back to the 100% fib. But now I don't think it would have to test back there because we already hit it on the way up. So maybe the 123.6, maybe 600 is support. I don't know. It may go diagonal and we could still hit it. Anyway, so these have been my numbers for a while. 657 back to 504. And then the 238 is 1,060. If it goes a little higher, sometimes these melt up at the end. And so 2618 would be 1155 for Tesla. And now everyone's just going to
a
get
lot
there
of people
by
fail
summer.
to
No.
a lot of people fail to understand that the greater the volatility, the higher things go. It was a bull trend. So
Yeah, it's like
the
you're
big
rocking the
drop
boat,
on
and the
your
more
wave,
you rock the boat,
on your wave 2. Yeah.
yes.
The big drop on your wave 2 just gave us a lot of gifts. It gave us a lot more haters during that period of time. And it also gave us a lot more for those longer term accumulator like Matt and I. It just gave us a lot more opportunity to buy. I honestly didn't care if I buy it like 300, 250, 210. I did not care. And this is the reason.
Yeah,
It's hard to convince other people during when the big drop happened. But I really honestly didn't
because
care.
it doesn't make a difference right now, right? Whether you bought at 250 or 300 or 320, it's all lower than current price, so it doesn't matter.
I'm gonna blow my mind and everyone else's
but
mind right
people
now.
failed to understand.
I just moved this. Let's say, what if this is the wave 2, and all this was just A, B, 1, 2, because it's such an extreme move. It makes a really good 1, 2. So if that's the case, then Tesla itself is gapped up to get to the 23.6 because it's up to the 123.6, back to the 764, and then the 2236. And that would be if this was our 1, 2, this is a conservative basic pattern, how I look at it. And that means that we're going to run up to 396.36 and then come back down to test 326.76 before rocketing on to 803.50. This is interesting. I like this
It's
because
beautiful, man.
it makes this makes sense that once we got over the 11.4 mini boss, it ran straight for the 23.6, and that's where we're at right now, just over it. And then testing back to if 326.76 keeps holding. How much testing did we do that? Not a lot yet. We kind of went up to it to 326 tomorrow or anytime this week, and then goes back up again. I might have to seriously consider 396 is the next target. All right, there. I just blew my own mind. This is the first time you guys are seeing it live. First time I ever thought about trying.
It's fun seeing.
I've done it with a bunch
It's
of other
fun
charts.
seeing you blow your own mind on this.
I just blew my own mind because I've had to move other charts. I've
Blew
had
your
to
own mind live.
abandon the old 1, 2 and make this the 1, 2 because it's a big wick up on 1 and a wick down on 2 with a double bottom. So that's a very good 1, 2 for doing these fib extensions.
Yeah. To translate for everybody, I think Tracker is saying that the biggest erection is going to come for Tesla because Wave 3 is coming.
Wave 3 is coming.
Is that a fair assessment?
We're just starting the Wave 3 just started, and I thought this was the 1, 2 in the Wave 3, but maybe this is the 1, 2, and this is all Wave 3. And that's just a conservative one. Tesla might even try to do something crazy like 578, then back to 400, then up to 873, then 100%. Because remember, Tesla likes the 764, and that would take us to 1400, 1349. If it did that, it would be surpassing of us getting to. All right, sorry. I'm gonna put it back.
All right, so I think we're gonna take a moment. I'm gonna go to the freezer, get some ice. I'm gonna pour over our crutch right now to kind of cool things down here a little bit because I think it's I think Tracker just blew his own mind with this bullish thesis, which actually honestly it makes sense. Going back to Coinbase on the monthly chart here, there's a lot of confluence. What you're seeing here is like the Ichimoku cloud, although the cloud is very premature. You know, it's I wouldn't say like a minor, but it's a little bit premature. And what you're seeing here is there's a lot of confluence here. Confluence number one is that it has the conversion line right at the 0.786 lock fib, right there, right? And we blew past it, kind of like how a tracker just blew his mind. We blew past it, right? The other thing that happened was we also have backtested the baseline here multiple times. And in the process of doing that, we also have backtested 0.618 log fib here for multiple times, right? And we held as support, right? On top of that, let me see here. On top of that, if I also get rid of the fib levels here, if I just pull up the Bollinger Band with the 20-month here, in addition to backtesting at base, we've also backtested right around the baseline. It's also got a rising 20-month moving average, right? A lot of momentum has been building. It went a little bit too far, too fast. It needed to correct sideways here at the golden pocket. It had a false breakout about the golden pocket, got rejected here at 0.86, decided to come back all the way back down to 0.618 here. Held, found a whole slout of support here, and the momentum is still to the upside. After a huge consolidation here can happen, right? I mean, what do you think is going to happen? I think it's going to go up. Is it going to be a straight up, or is it going to be some volatility and then up? I don't know, but this is a pretty good setup, and had a false breakout last time, couldn't break out, and now we came back down, back tested a lot of support, found support, and we're breaking through some pretty important level here so far, right? If you care about the whole fundamental, like, it's also on the back of like really great news too, right? So if it breaks about the 0.618, sorry, it breaks about the 0.786, and if this time we're able to break about the 0.86, then you're talking about some crazy like targets up here above, right? The 1.272, 1.414, 1.618, these things are reachable if we're able to break about this resistance zone. Because we just found a whole lot of support down here below, I think it's probably going to do it. I'm not even going to show like the weekly chart, daily chart. It doesn't matter. Like, this is what I'm looking at. And this is why I really have been pretty bullish on Coinbase. And it looks like it's breaking out. I don't have anything else to say about that. To add to the Tesla trackers assessment, I do think that it's reasonable to make those targets up higher. This is my Tesla chart I've been showing for quite some time. And this is also the monthly chart, right? Like, I honestly, I can chart the weekly, sure, that's fine. But I feel that higher time frame is where it's at. If you can find a pattern, and if it shows great market symmetry, if it's basically showing, you know, like a lot of confluence, I like it, you know, and the higher time frame, the better. The monthly just looked like it did during this consolidation over here, right? And the same thing I've mentioned, this whole 6 months over here with the breakout of this diagonal bearish trend line, back tested right at the bottom of the cloud. Same thing happened here the last time, it took about 2 years. We just did that in 6 months, right? So a lot of things have happened here. The chart's getting pretty busy. On top of all that, you also have the 20-month moving average holding as support, is positively slipping. The Bollinger Band is starting to expand because of this huge volatility that we had, right? And we also had a tweezer bottom over here. You see how you had a tweezer top? That was a pretty good top, right? Way outside upper Bollinger Band. Wasn't able to go up much higher because of that. Decided to come back down. What did it do? Well, it did the natural thing of, I guess I don't want to say anything inappropriate, but it did the natural thing. I'm holding back, man. My voice just came back. It did the natural thing of just coming back down to the 20-month moving average. Back tested it twice, grabbed liquidity down below. Nice demand down here. Nice tweezer. And then what's going to happen? It's going to go up, right? Where's it going to go? It's probably going to go to the upper Bollinger Band. Where's the upper Bollinger Band right now? Tracker is around 400.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably where it's going to go, right? Is it going to go this month? Probably not. You know, it could go next month, but that's the natural course of thing, right? So I think that it's wants to go higher. I don't have much else to say. If you want to talk about targets, I think that some of the targets, like, you know, I think four-figure Tesla is reachable. I think it already had a test of the previous all-time high here. And I think the second time we test, I think it's going to push through. And we're also getting about the 0.786 over here too, right? So I feel that we are going to get there. Which path it takes, whether or not trackers waves are going to take us there, you know, I don't know exactly. But I do feel that the general idea is up. So I think there's a lot of confluence in terms of what like everybody here is looking at. So Matt, take it away, man.
Yeah, I just wanted to show one chart for Tesla here, and that's the linear scale chart, and everything is pointing to 350 zone, 350 to 360 for the next major target. So I think we're going to continue in that direction, and we can see that on my linear scale chart, this orange level was basically a very huge breakout to the 45-degree angle, where, if you guys remember, I actually did issue some caution there because it did touch it. I did that on my weekly update videos, and then price came back down all the way to the blue angle, and now it's coming back up for a V bottom. So I do think it's going to be a pretty big resistance zone, and this orange level is 358. And we have more confluence here with all of this stuff. You got the baseline there, the 886. You got the green arc right there. It's all in the 350s, guys. So whenever it gets to the 350s, I do not think it's just going to scream and shoot directly above, unless maybe it gaps up massively above and then it keeps going, right? You can never count out a gap up and don't look back. You can always see that as a possibility. But right now, there's too much confluence of resistance from 350 to 360. So I would just be cautious in that zone. But in the meantime, based off of this weekly chart, I think we're going higher, right? I think it wants to gravitate to the baseline, to the 886, to the arc above. And that is all in the low 350s. So that's my short-term target. But yeah, long-term target, I think it's going higher, like 600, 700s, 900s. It's going way higher again. So great developments for Tesla, great developments for Coinbase, great developments for everything. Should we talk about Palantir?
I don't know. Does the long investor approve?
Well, guys, I just wanted to change my stance a little bit and just tell you that Palantir is like really overvalued, and you should probably sell it and short it. No, I'm joking. Joking. That's a joke. Joke. Haha.
Can you say that haha again? I'm sorry. That haha did something. Can you do that again?
No, you can't. You can't do it. I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to say it. Anyways, let's go to Palantir here.
If you can.
If I knew how to type it in. So here we are, Palantir, linear scale chart. It's what I care about the most right now because it has been following this symmetry very, very nicely since it broke out from the blue angle here. It hasn't really ever looked back, and now that it's finally above the 45-degree angle, it just broke out, got rejected the first time with that blue level, came back down to the arc, back tested it, and now we did a breakout back test, which was successful this time. We didn't get a bearish engulfing candle like we did last time to invalidate it. We had an inside candle that wicked below and closed above, so that 114 level held, which really means to me that I think price is going to continue to press higher. And the upper levels do sit right here, maybe around 138. Then you got the top arc maybe in the 140s, 146, 147, 148. And what else exists around that 147, 148? Well, we do have this 3.618 linear scale fib right up there. And if time matched the arc exactly, that would be 147 maybe by June 9th, June 16th, maybe that time. So we could probably see price continue higher. Not sure if it's going to go directly to the blue or the green level straight above in the 160s, but it's a fantastic development. And everybody that thought it was all over and a double top, well, I think this breakout just confirmed it's not, unless it does start to go lower and then it just turns into a giant wick up top, and then there is no higher high, right? There is no higher high body of the candle closing above this, right? So we'll take it one day at a time, but this is a great development for going higher. All I really care about is holding this 114 level. If that continues to hold, then I can see higher prices until it gets to the log-based fib right here, which is the 1.618 log-based fib 157.62. So I think at a minimum it's going to get there, but probably it's going to go higher.
I have that number 157 memorized in my head, like for months now.
So you're gonna take profits and sell everything and start to short?
Nah.
But
Nah.
imagine 157 is gonna be even more overvalued than it is now. Like, how could you hold something that is super overvalued?
Or maybe less if their growth rates, like, continue to be 40% or higher. Anyway, I'm not why am I talking about fundamentals? I mean, the rule of 40, anyway, that's I don't care about. But yeah, I mean, like, I honestly, see Palantir going a lot higher. Before I get into Palantir, I wanna show you what I'm looking at. So I'm gonna use Tesla as an example, just kind of backtrack here a little bit to kind of tell you what I'm thinking about the cycle tops and things like that on a very parabolic bull trend where people are just screaming for valuation fears. So what happened here in Tesla? You had two really big, giant parabolic moves, right, on the way up here around 2013, around 2019, 2020. If you are looking at the Bollinger Band in log scale, you can see whenever this big move going up, you have Bollinger Band expansion to the upside and to the downside. Whenever the downside Bollinger Band keeps on going down, when it stops going down, like right there, October 2013, is that the top for Tesla? Let's go back and see. October 2013, that is not the top for Tesla. This is wave number 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it made another wave 5, right? So I think that you can have like a little bit of a extension here after that, and even if the Bollinger Band stops expanding, the momentum could still be a little bit exhausted to the upside, but it could still go up, right? Same thing over here, big giant parabolic bull trend over here. Where did the Bollinger Band stop expanding here on the low side? January 2021. That what happened in January 2021 was at the top. No, it's not. It made another higher high after that, but it made another wave 5 high after that, right? The reason why I show all this is, are we topped yet? Is the Bollinger Band at at the peak at the lower side? No, because it's still expanding to the downside. It is still negative, right? So at this point, I can't really call a top for Palantir. No matter how ridiculous it is, no matter how parabolic it has been, no matter how many people say irrational, Palantir move has been, no matter how many people scream valuation fear and bubble, it looks like this thing wants to go higher. You look at Ichimoku on the monthly here. Again, this is the premature cloud. Oh, we actually got a little bit of tiny cloud over here. We are using the blue line here as support to push price up higher. This is bull market behavior. Last month, what happened? We came back, even back test both the blue line and the red line, both the conversion and base, and we held perfectly. What happened after that? We bounced, right? The only thing I have bearish to say about Palantir is how far it is away from the blue line right now. It is overextended, kind of like how it was over here. It is overextended, so I think we might have a little bit of deceleration up, around 140s, 150s. We're gonna have a hard time kind of going up that much farther than that fast. We probably need the blue line to kind of catch up here a little bit more. But overall, this is a bull trend. Look at what Tesla did during the bull market, right? During the bull market, it was riding, even dipped down underneath the blue line over here during COVID, but it didn't care. It kept on going up, right? As long as it's about the blue line, it kept on going up. It's bull market, right? Same thing here, bull market, right? Quebec dipped down, touched the blue, went up a lot higher. You see this behavior over and over again, right? So as far as I'm concerned, Palantir is still in a bull trend, and anybody who's trying to call a top is just guessing. It doesn't. I mean, RSI is high, but RSI can stay in the 90s for quite some time. I mean, Nvidia bull market, you have RSI stay in the 90s for like a whole year. So I don't have anything else to say besides the fact that let's just keep an eye on it. You can certainly take profits if you want to. If Palantir ever gets up to 157, I bet a lot of folks like Matt and Tracker, a lot of people see the same thing. They're going to take profits. We're going to have a hard time kind of push through, but institutions are still buying, as far as I know. So, yeah, who knows how high this thing can go. Tracker, you have any Palantir chart?
Oh yeah, I do. Matt, I'll switch me over.
I'm gonna go to the freezer and get some ice. I'll be right.
You're gonna need it too, because look at this. So earlier, before the correction we just had, my chart kind of went from the 592 low to this 8480 high, and then back to the support at 6340, and then based on that, I was looking for a 764, and it went right to the 764. Then I was looking for a 382, and it did not stop. It just kept running, and it ran up and then back down. and it's still a higher low than here, but because it ran so far up and then collapsed all the way back down, I'm not willing to call this a failed wave 2. Instead, I just want to make a brand new chart. So I just simply, instead of calling this the 1, 2, I got rid of that. And this is my 1, 2 now. And so, but before I show you all this on the right-hand side with the extensions, I just want to show you using the retrace fibs that Matt and you talk about with the magical 786. You can see right here, after it found its bottom at 6612, it went right back up, oscillated around the 50%, went right to the 786, went over the 76, then tested back to it, and tested almost to the 618. Really just kind of wicked back to this 70.2 and below, and then now we're breaking out. We're to an all new high. And so usually these extend either to 127.2 or the 141.4 higher. And look, there's 150 right there. Now remember, Matt was mentioning like 154, 155 or something like that. Here's my fib extensions. So wave 1, wave 2, and then these are fib extensions on the right. I think at first I was looking for a conservative, like a 382, 236, but we already blew past that. No, I don't like it. We already blew past that. It could do 61.8 and then back to the 23.6. I think it really wants to pep all the way up to the 7. This is so bullish. I think it wants to do the 764, and look, that's 156.69 compared to where Matt's GAN line is. A GAN arc is right up there, right about the same place. Typically, after a run up to 764, that's like where it has to consolidate. If it consolidates for a long time, it'll come all the way back down to the 382, but then from there it goes to the 1382, which takes us to 230.54, back to the 100% at 185, and then the 2382 is $350 for all 5 waves of this part of Palantir, and that's just the larger macro scale what it already did here in 5 waves up, and then ABC down. Now it grows bigger. 5 waves up, even higher. So let's see from where price is right now to the 764 is about 22% higher. And then if it does go to the 382 and you can hold it all the way up to the 1382, that's a 100% move from 111 to 230.54, or 107%, I should say. Anyway, yeah, these are really exciting. I mean, you get the wave 5. That's from where price is right now. That's 172% higher. But anyway, yeah, I think I'm just looking for.
Stop it.
Look for a test of the 61.8% fib next at 139.24. If it goes past 139.24, the 764 is where it's going. Otherwise, if it gets stopped there, it'll push it back down to 93.60. So if it stops at 618, probably try to push it back to the 236. Though it could take a long time. All right, I'm done.
Take as long as
you're using your ice right now, aren't you, Kat?
I
Ice, baby.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more.
It's so bullish.
You can also
PTIR is next.
PTIR, which is the 2x ETF of Palantir, and it started back here in September of 2024. Let's see. I went to this significant low, this sort of I'm not counting the all-time low. I'm counting from where it took off the wave 2 bottom. From the wave 2 bottom to the wave 5 top, ABC down to a higher low. So I see it. Let's see. This almost went to its 764. Oh my gosh. Is this going to go to the 382? It hasn't reached there yet. See, now this makes me wonder if Palantir isn't going to stop at the 618, 764. I don't know. I'll have to look at it, but I'll have to think about it. I'll think about it when you guys are talking about something else. From where prices
well,
now,
what else can we talk about?
9%. Oh,
is P tier just like urine? like
I know,
you have
right?
here coming up
Sounds like
PP, like
it sounds like something you give a biological sample in.
yeah, PT tier. Okay, that's
PTIR.
sad, but that's what we do every day. Anyway,
Yeah.
well, I mean, we want to look at your Bitcoin chart tracker.
Oh,
You've
sure.
been posting your Bitcoin
So
stuff recently as
last
well.
night I was keeping
So
myself
please
up,
go for it.
worrying about an ABC down from here, or even 5 ways down from here. But Matt turned me around, and this morning, uh, price actions turned me around too. So I think that's not this one. This one right here. I think it's gonna. One case is that it just makes a slightly higher high, like previous all-time high of 109,356. What if it just goes to 109,970, which is the 2236 fib right here, and then does an ABC down, to 96016, then it would start to push up. And I'm kind of ripping off of Matt's fibs here again for the retrace, because like the idea is like it goes 100%. It goes all the way down here. We get back over the 786, which we did and tested over. It held as support and pushed higher. So now we're almost past the 886. If it gets over the 100%, maybe, I don't know. Either it toes over here, then pushes back one more time before it runs up, or it just blows past 109,970, and it does go for the 127.2 at 118,855, or the 141 at 123,814. The extension fibs I've been using tell me that we're already in wave 5. Wave 4 is done. So I'm trying to track 5 subwaves of this, which take us to 179,832. It's about almost 180,000 is where Bitcoin, I see it, where it's headed next. And it's just like I'm just puzzling out the subwaves there. But if you don't care about, you're not going to be trading Bitcoin, you're just holding it. Don't worry, we got plenty of room to the upside from where price closed, or I'm sorry, where price is right now, because it never closes. To the 2382 is about 71% higher. It melt up. So I got the 250 there. Maybe shut up the 2618, but 2382 is a good conservative estimate because it really has done. Delete this for a second. So these are my extension fibs. So from the 15,479, this is wave 1, wave 2 bottom. 3 sub 1 is the 764. And then it didn't quite get to the 382. It stopped at the 50% fib. But then it did go to the 1382. And then it dropped. The 100% fib was supposed to hold, but it dropped through a little bit, but we recovered it. And so the 2382 is where I'm targeting next. And there you go. That's my long-term Bitcoin. And I won't trouble you guys with the short-term part is like, how much higher do we go before it has to test back? That's what I'm trying to figure out right here. We need a good 1-2, a sub 1-2 to kick off the sub 5 waves going up. We just don't have it yet. We need the one where it goes really high and does a liquidity grab down, and that'll be my 1-2 that I'm looking for. Because these aren't big enough to cut it. It's got to be at least this big. All right. Well, I know Matt's got a Bitcoin chart.
There's so many sound clips I can make of you tracker out of context. That would be
that's what she said.
Oh yeah, sure.
Are you doing anything with Bitcoin tracker?
I'm playing them. Let's see, what am I doing with it? Conel and MSTX is what I've been doing with it. Matt noticed MSTX kind of overheated first. Now Conel's catching up, and MSTX is taking a breather. I did XXRP for a little bit last week. I'm kind of waiting for this 1-2, and then I'll jump into XXRP maybe, which is it's like a 2x each of XRP.
Yeah, Cat's waiting for the XXXRP.
I know, right?
That's never gonna happen. That's
never
gonna happen.
The tough thing is, for me, Bitcoin's competing with all these other stocks that I have access to. And
Yeah.
so a 71% move for the wave 5 is not quite as sexy as, say, a QBTS move from the 786 to the 1382. That is, oh, it's only 60% higher. What am I thinking of? There's something else. Maybe it's Big Bear AI. There's like some ones that have like, just
Yeah.
insane returns still. And I think this is probably one of them. Yeah, because look, Big Bear AI, it's not even over the 236 yet. We just defeated the 11.4 mini boss. And from here to say like even the 764, from here to the 764 is 155% higher. To the 1236 is 280% higher. So like, I like this even better than Bitcoin. Everyone's excited about Bitcoin, but I like the little guys. This is the guys that build the toy boats, the drones, the Navy drones. I like Bitcoin.
This come
One day
the day
I'll
when
own
we
it.
have the day when we have complaints about Bitcoin not being volatile enough. we need to chase return with super small cap. I mean that's awesome, man.
Exactly. Like the day I own Bitcoin is the day I've retired from trading. It's like, all right, I'm not going to trade anymore. I'll just let Bitcoin do all the heavy lifting for me.
Yeah. Plus like, a few 100% minus 80% plus a few hundred, it's fine.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's fine. All right, Matt. Take it away.
Take it away. Yeah. So Bitcoin, there's only one thing I'm really looking at the most, and that is the log scale 1.272 fib 103,611. The new daily candle just opened about 27 minutes ago, and look where it's going. It's going back down to retest it again, maybe do some overnight shenanigans again below it, and we'll see if it just pops back up tomorrow to stabilize on top. So that's been the trend for basically since it broke out, right? Since it broke out on May 10th, it's been back testing that 1.272 fib every single day. So today probably is no exception. So yeah, 103,611, just hold that. If it stabilizes on top, then yes, it can go higher. If not, then you got lots of support below. You got the daily conversion line even there at 99,541 if it chose to go back and retest it. But I would argue, really, just looking at this weekly chart, that this is probably the most bullish Bitcoin has been all year. And I think even more bullish than these candles here, because these were just a bunch of wicks up top and never had any substance to them, right? Just huge wicks up top through that zone. But now we're seeing stability in 2 weeks in a row. So I think we arguably are more bullish than we were back in January. So this is, in my opinion, a really good development. And I think if this can maintain, we'll see higher prices and then we'll see all-time highs. And where to next? Well, then we go to our linear scale and we got our blue arc right above it there. And that is, depending on time, sitting at like 113, maybe 112, maybe 110, but it's been kind of suppressed here for a long time. So it might just shoot directly through it and go straight to the top arc into the 130s. That could be a possibility, or even to this 2.272 fib above 137. So I think it's going to get to these higher prices sooner or later, and just looking for a nice base to establish on top of that 103 zone.
Yeah, if this was a 1 minute candlestick chart, I'd say this thing's flagging for higher. It looks like an
what about a what about a 1 second chart?
Oh yeah, I'm more a minute man than a 1 second man.
Well, that's what she said. So
I know. Hey, it's 8:30.
I thought you were the
maybe
milk.
we should.
I thought you were the milkman.
Maybe we should do requests.
That's Wilt Chamberlain, I think, the milkman, right?
we can if you'd like. I mean, I think I can take a few if you guys want. But before we do that, Matt, you want to talk about XRP?
Ooh, XRP. I thought we were going to talk about ARKK too. I was getting that ready, but no, that's
we're going to talk. Yeah, somebody
that's
requested that.
Yeah.
We can get
so we'll do ARKK later.
Yeah.
So yeah, XRP. Let's talk about it, huh? Shall we? So if we just take off the fibs and you can see what the market symmetry, guess what? Breakout, backtest of my new GAN that I created a while ago. And this is the most bullish thing ever. And then if you put the fibs back on, It's finally breaking above the 2.25877, the big 886. But I don't think it's really ready to go breakout just yet. And the reason why is if you flip it to the linear scale, you can see the 2.63 fib right here. The big 786 on linear scale, 2.63156. This zone still has not been broken. We already touched it this week, got rejected. So it looks kind of like we're range bound between that 236 and maybe 263. But I don't think it really necessarily needs to go back down to that 236. And the reason why is something really nice is happening on the Bollinger Band, or we can just use the bull market support band here, how it's breaking above the 20-week moving average finally for the first time since March of this year. So we are on the back on the top side of the bull market support band, back on top of the 20-week moving average, and that is at 242. So if we do back test, maybe we're only likely to go back down to the 242 zone, and we got pretty close last night. I think last night, what did it get down to? Like 243, almost 242, I think. So let's go check out the daily chart. Yeah, last night it got down to 2.42192. So it did technically touch that conversion or that 20-week moving average already. So this is a fantastic development. I think we are seeing stability now at higher prices. I think all we're waiting for now is that 263 to break. And once it does break, then it'll start challenging all-time highs.
All right. We want to do a couple of altcoin requests too. Just gonna knock them out. I actually want to see a Doge chart. I want to see what you think about Doge.
You want to see my Doge? Okay, let's go.
Yeah, and then Doc with head, and somebody asked PEPE, we can talk about all that, and then we can jump into
so wow, Doge, there it is, the bull market support band, 20-week moving average. It broke out above. I just had it on the screen for you guys. So similar situation to XRP, right? So very, very nice development here. And if we also just take that off and put on some other indicators here, then we can see that the next big resistance is going to be this 618 fib, the 26.2626. Then we got the top of the cloud and the 27. But I think if we can break above this 0.26, this 26 cents zone, then I think it's going to go to the 30 cents and maybe the 32 and above. So just a really nice looking chart. It did break out above important levels. We can even look at the monthly chart too and see that it is challenging the bottom of the monthly cloud right now. And that is around that 26 cent zone as well. So I think once it does decide to break above inside this cloud, it's going to start just challenging the upper levels, the baseline conversion line and stuff like that too. So I do like it. I think it has great potential right now. It just might take a little bit longer to break out into all this zone here from the 26 cent to the 33 cent zone. But once it clears this area, then I think it's go time for Doge.
Nice. What about Doc with hat?
Well, as long as he's wearing a hat, I'm still bullish, right? So we're good.
It's important. It's important for the economy that Doc with hats do well.
So WIF, it had if you just look at everything with naked eyes, right? I know Kat loves naked eyes here. You just look at the symmetry of it all, and I think all it wanted to do is come back down to this zone here where it was like a previous resistance zone before it broke out. And where that ended up was just this angle and that arc and that orange level in that vicinity. So I think it hit that perfect symmetrical support down there and it V-bottomed out of there. And now we're looking like price is wanting to go higher, but it's really at that angle of resistance and at the arc as resistance too. And if you put back on those fibs, it looks like it does want to hold this 94 cent zone now. So WIF, I think it is looking better and better. Something that had a huge downturn. I think it was like worse than most other altcoins out there. But now it's actually having a nice recovery. And I think it can stabilize on top of this 94 cent zone. And if so, yeah, it's going to probably go higher. And the next resistance is going to be this 177 up top.
Awesome. What about the PEPE, the outperformer frog? What do you think about that?
Resistance right now. Yeah, it's this one, the point 0.0000015492. That's your resistance right now. But I love the breakout. I love the breakout from this 1.272 fib and getting above this angle, getting above the 1.414. So I think we have established some new support down here. So if it did decide to back test that, I think that would be healthy for a break above this resistance. So good chart.
Nice. And then finally, DAG.
Yeah, DAG. A lot of people were excited about the moves today for DAG. And I think the reason why is it was up for the week. It's up like 13%, so it's pretty good. But the main thing for DAG is, whoops, not that one. The main thing for DAG.
Yeah, that didn't look very.
What is that?
Is that
What's
it?
going on?
Oh, okay.
So the main thing for DAG is it broke out last week. It broke out of the range that it was stuck under for months, right? It got rid of the downtrend. It one candle broke all these little indicators. So that was enough for a back test and sending it higher. So now it looks like it wants to go towards the 0.057 and even the 382 above, maybe the 0.065. So I think it has more room to go. This was exactly what it was looking for, to break out above this zone, and finally it did it. So hold the 0.044, and guess what? It's gonna go higher.
Nice. While we're still talking about crypto, do you want to touch Mara? Somebody requested Mara.
Ooh, Mara.
I'm just gonna make you do all the work.
You're the announcer,
you know.
and I'm the workhorse.
Yeah.
I like it when Kat runs the show.
Look, if you're gonna be if you're gonna be on top, you better do all the work. Like that's the way I look at it.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay, so my Mara chart here is getting better and better. I think what I focused on mostly with Mara was the 100-month moving average. And once that got reclaimed last month, it was game on for a back test and a breakout higher. So just looking at this 100-month moving average, looking at this monthly chart, I think it does have room to continue to the 18s and above. And I'm really looking at this 618 fib right here, the 1955. And once I think it can break above that, like definitively, then it's going higher. So it's kind of range bound right now, but it's going in the right direction. And it held this 100-month moving average almost perfectly, except for 1 month. But that was just a nice liquidity grab. But you can see it's just a big breakout. So many back tests of that 100, and now it's going higher. So bullish chart.
You know, I just want to mention, you don't have to show my chart or anything, but Mara, for me, it's just got up to its 23.6 fib extension and the hub. So from where price closed today, that's another 30% higher just to get to the 382. So I don't know if it'll have to backtest a little bit and be stuck under the 236 for a minute, but once it gets over it, it's going to the 382 next. I just want to
It's going to $300,000 a share. Somebody told me that.
It's just under 1680, and then it wants to go to 2132 next, at least at minimum. There's a big sell order waiting for it at the 70 at 3316 higher.
Yeah, I'll take that. I don't need 3,000. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll work.
That'll work. Yeah, I mean, I think we can shift a little bit towards stocks. I only have ARKK, AMD, TIGR, and Bullfrog. Of course, I'm gonna make Tracker do Bullfrog.
Sure.
So,
well, do you want to do a chart first, Kat, or are you gonna make me do them all?
well, no, I can do a few. I knocked the rest of them out. Fine. Yeah, and I'm gonna save Bullfrog and to Tracker the end, and whatever Tracker wants to talk about too. Any small caps or anything like that. That's interesting.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
AMD. This is a pretty decent bottomy chart. Reason why, like, basically the entire downtrend is like no volume, and it's got a very nice hammer bottom candle over here, right smack through the Ichimoku cloud, holding Ichimoku cloud here just fine. On top of that, it's also touched a little Bollinger Band here. So this is a pretty good bottom. How far and fast, like this is basically nothing new compared to last week. How far and fast does it go up? I think it's probably gonna go to like the 120-ish area. Reason why I say that is because if you look at, well, I mean, if you look at the, let's see here. If you look at upper Bollinger Band, I think it's going to probably end up getting resistance somewhere around the 120s. It might come back down close to the gap first, back test the 20 moving average before going up there. I think it's probably going to, where is it going to end up going? And I think once we get there, it's going to be probably some resistance up above, because if you see like the Ichimoku Tenkan or conversion lines right around 125, that's probably going to be resistance wherever it gets there. I just don't see it V-shaping from here because there's a lot of resistance up above. 125 at the Tenkan, 150 is at where the Kishin is. It's also happened to be around the 20-month moving average, around 140. So you got a lot of these kind of resistance zone above, right, on the monthly here. On the weekly, too, you got the upper Bollinger Band here as a resistance. You got it's getting over at the Kishin here, but we might still get rejected initially before going back up here. 150 is going to be resistance here. So it's probably got some room to go up above to like maybe high 120s to 150s zone up there. But I don't think it's going to just break out and just V-shape all the way up here. Is it a bullish chart? I think so. I think it's probably bottomed. The other couple of ones that you guys want to talk about, like ARK, it's actually a really strong chart. It just forms a channel on the way up here on log scale, right? Higher highs, higher lows. It's been doing nothing but, right? And the behavior of ARK is actually completely predictable, because all it's really doing right now is that a few months ago, I think back in February, it touched the bottom of the Ichimoku cloud here perfectly, right? And you're not supposed to just push through the fake ass Ichimoku cloud here the first time. You got to tap it a little bit, see how it reacts. They're gonna react. They're gonna be like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And you're like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry." You know, you're gonna backtrack here a little bit. You're gonna go back to your bros, find some support. I don't know, man. I tapped that, thing right there. She didn't react very well. It's okay. Don't worry. You got some support from us, bro. Don't worry. And it has like a lot of support, a lot of demand underneath of it. And it basically make a little bit of morning star here. Don't worry, bro. Go back to her. Right now, it's probably about to tap that again at some point. I think the more it try to tap, the less startled the cloud is going to be, the more likely it's going to penetrate. And I think it's going to be looking pretty decent here overall. And you've also looking, I know you want to laugh, but don't laugh. Just be serious. Hold a serious face, guys. This is serious stuff. It pushed through the 0.382 log fib here, I guess, but last time also it got rejected here, 0.5 here perfectly too, right when it was tapping the cloud, right? So there you have a confluence of resistance here. I think right now we're going to breaking through the 0.382. We're going to end up, slowly challenge the cloud. I think 0.5 is going to be another resistance level. But regardless, you have the benefit of having higher highs and higher lows. On top of that, you also have the 20-month moving average, where it just basically just tap, right? That's not a bro that was giving support and saying, don't worry, go back and tap the Ichimoku cloud. It's got a lot of support down below. ARK looks great. ARK has Tesla. ARK has coin. Both of those charts we talked about tonight, they're extremely beautiful charts. You finally also have this TIGR stock here, which is a stock that I own. It's also doing the same thing, right? The good thing is it's not the first time that it's tapped the cloud. The cloud has already been startled, and now it's the second time you're trying to tap it, and the second time it's tapping, and the reaction is pretty decent so far, right? On top of that, last time you didn't just get rejected here by the cloud, you also got rejected at the Tenkan Kitchen, at the blue line, red line over here, and you have a hard time spending 6 months trying to get over it. We finally got over it with a lot of really decent demand underneath, and it's trying to tap the cloud here again, right? There is a good chance that it pushes through, but you might still have a little bit of a hard time pushing through quite just yet. But I do think that it wants to get to 0.618, which is also where it kind of got rejected here last time too. It got rejected here. It was embarrassed. It came back to the bros, and the bros is giving it support over the last 6, 7, 8 months. It's been trying. Okay, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. We'll see what it does after that. Tracker, bullfrog. Are you guys still here, or are you basically just like, yeah. Matt's not here. He's not flipping over. Or are you guys just like reminiscing over the imagery of the Ichimoku cloud tapping? That
was some great imagery. That's
You know,
oh,
the tap of the Ichimoku cloud on the
great. I'm
first
on. Okay.
try is
So
equivalent to
Bullfrog.
consent. You have to have consent.
Oh, yeah.
Go for it, man. Sorry.
No, it's all right. Bullfrog. It made a lower low build. I could build did build one, but I deleted it. Anyway, let's watch for an ABC from the now all-time low, $1.23. It failed to get over the 236 the first time, but it's about to make another attempt here soon. So it should go 382 to back to the 236. And it's interesting, they've got these sell order blocks set way back here for in case Bullfrog does a crazy ABC retrace to its 484 high. Its all-time high is it's not charted here. That's crazy. But it was 950 exactly, which happened just like a few weeks after it opened. Anyway, report that they've got their first. This needs to first money generating, revenue generating, any kind of run on the stock at all will send the price skyward really fast because it still has a very low float of shares. So as soon as the stock, the price runs up really fast. Anyway, there you go. Bullfrog cost basis, and I'm waiting for the spike up to the $1.61 next. You want me to do? Is that all we're doing?
Awesome,
Do you want to
man.
do? Oh, you want me? You said anything I wanted, right? So let's see.
Wait, what?
Um,
What do I want?
I don't want to hit you guys with EOSE. EOSE good. Let me go
Oh,
to the
yeah.
8-hour chart. Oh wait, this is. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm using the wrong. That is. I should look at EOSE over here. Always temp. All right, so EOS. I'm looking at it from its significant low of 307. Then wave one go 56. Then it extended it really far. Chart to 444. One of those ones where I was thinking that this was the 1, 2, but it got a lot deeper, but it just makes the whole thing bigger. 28, 50%. I think it's set it for the 1 cents next. 830. I know. Earlier with a bunch of stuff. Let me turn these off. That makes it a lot better. Yeah.
I think
So it already did.
I think you have a 5-second delay tracker.
Yeah.
Like your latency seems really, really bad because sometimes our conversations overlap all the time.
Yeah, there's a bit of latency, and every time I load a chart,
Overlap.
then it makes my voice get really garbled. All right, so it already did the 618, and then I was looking for like the 236. It didn't do that. It just kind of hovered around the 50. Now it's taken off again. So I'm looking for 831 next. I just deleted the thing that told me 831. Yeah, this 1382 to 831. So yeah, I think it's done with 831 next with a test back to 735 in 5 waves to about 1082 to 1050, somewhere around there. So, which is, I tell people those percentages. Where price is right now, it's about 52% higher. So yeah, USD is looking strong. This one, it's It's bopping around down here. Still just defeated this 114 mini boss, and it's ready to challenge the 236 at 455 next. Where price closed today. That's about another 42% higher just to get 36. The minimum extension of 382, which is what I'm looking for, at 591 next. And then RCAT. So one of our regular morning participants asked about this. I like this one. I think RCAT wants to go to $10.11 next. It did. It's still in itself. That's just the 382. It's larger degree 382 to the 236 again. To overall, just got past the 11.4 mini boss. It hasn't even tested the 236 yet. From our price to is another 18% higher. To the 382 is another 49. So I'm in this. I even bought some calls for RCAT, and they're doing pretty good. I bought like the $6 or 175. All right, make you guys go through too much of my craziness.
No, that's good. I have.
People are just here for the home.
I actually have a few hundred shares of RCAT just for fun. It's a good looking chart.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Like I said, when I get into like the little day trading stuff, it gets really intense, and so I get real close to this like 1 hour chart, and I try to map these subwaves. Obviously, I think 10 is next, back to 666, and then on up to 887. But that doesn't even get it all the way to the 236. That's just like I don't know. Maybe this is the 3, 4, 5. Sometimes these 5 waves up are just the first 3 waves. Elliott wave charting, man. It gets pretty wild. You have to keep stacking things on top of things. And like I've said like before, like Matt's charts, the Gantt charts are really cool. They're like it's like having GPS, and my charts are more like sailors throwing a knotted rope off the back of the ship and looking at a stopwatch, like Dead Reckoning. It gets a little messy, but it works over long periods of time, and larger degree charts. It works really well, or at least it does for me. And
very, very good. So we got a few
I'll show you
more
the
minutes. What do we want to do?
This is
Oh, LAES. Okay.
let me just show. I think LAES. It got to the 382, back to the 236. So the bottom is in. And I wrote that to my subscribers. I posted that. Is right now, it wants to go to the 123.6, which is 40% higher, almost 41% higher than where price at 8 o'clock tonight. So that's $1.35 is my next target for the 123.6 fib. Yeah, I like it. All right, what you go ahead, Matt and Kat.
I think that's about it. I don't know if we have anything else to go over. Did we get all the requests?
I think so. Did. Yeah, I think we hit all of them, and we even talked about a few pretty interesting small cap charts. I think we're good, man.
Oh wait, there's one.
Oh, you know
the
what?
MTPLF.
Yeah, go ahead.
People were talking about that. The MetaPlanet today. They were talking about
that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like more the next Michael Saylor. It's like it's like a mini strategy.
Yeah, I just think it's back to retrace levels, back to the golden pocket, right? It's not that much data, so it's hard to really say anything. But I guess if it stays above the 786,
look at 3350. I think it's a Japanese company. I think it's like an over-counter stock that doesn't have much history, but you actually can look at the Japanese market, like 3350 is the ticker for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it gives you more history.
Ooh, yeah, look at that. So nifty. Good Lord, Cat. That just changed my whole life.
Did it?
It changed my
Oh, that is really
world.
cool.
Yeah. I don't
Oh,
know
look
when
at
they
this.
start stacking Bitcoin. It's one of those one of those Bitcoin strategy kind of thing. But it was looking pretty bullish. I think I was asked to chart it a few months ago, before they were even over the counter in the US. But now it just looks a little bit tired, you know? I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's still respecting fibs, though, even though it's probably a different company from then back in 2006.
Yeah.
Still respecting the math. So, yeah, here's your answer, guys. It's stuck in a range between the whatever that is. I don't know that equivalent. Do the math. Do the
If you're interested in Asian stocks, do the math.
yeah. It's in between 295 and 756, guys. Convert it yourselves. There we go.
But technical analysis is freely convertible because I mean, like this is basically the same stock. It's just listed at different places. So
It is. And
yeah,
it's just doing the same. Like I guess it's during the same time frame of this high and this low, right? So it's essentially the same exact range from like these little baby fibs that I had on there from there to there. Yeah. So basically break out into new highs here, then it goes higher. Otherwise it's just range bound for MTPLF. Nothing this one doesn't excite me at all. I don't know why everybody's talking about it.
Here's the magic
Yummer.
number. The 786 retrace for MetaPlanet is $4.47. Once it gets over, if it can get over $4.47, then it's got a clear shot to make a new all-time high. Maybe around 630 or $6.83 for the 127.2 or 141.4 retrace.
Yamete kudasai.
Hi,
Yeah, someone's asking you, like, will there be like a support test? I don't know if there will be, but if it does, the 618 is a good shot around $3.84 down for a support test.
All right, beautiful people. I think we're getting close to the mark of 9 p.m. Eastern. And that means that tonight's fun is a little bit over.
No.
Yeah, it's been real. It's been fun.
Yep.
We'll see what happens since we're kind of close to resistance with some things, and things are battling things, and yeah, things are things.
It's very insightful. I'm gonna.
Yeah. So my final thoughts are the stock market is going to open tomorrow.
Don't jinx it.
Watch, it doesn't open.
It's like next thing you know, you got like a big giant gap down and like the circuit, you know, and a circuit breaker. Anyway, stop it.
Just blame me if that happens. It's the great Fatsby fat finger.
Whatever you say will become the opposite. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, guys. It's been real. We'll do this again next week.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Until then.
All right.
Yeah.
Good luck, everybody. I hope that some people like Real Blonde Broker are saying that they think that maybe it'll just be range bound for the rest of the week. A lot of things, the options market kind of controls the prices of stuff sometimes. And so, you know, they'll try to get a bunch of people they'll keep the prices high to burn the shorts. Yeah. I think a lot more people were caught short in the market than recently. We've all been kind of I've been gun shy. Anyway. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks, Matt and Kat.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. XOXO. Bye.